Southwest Airlines is facing what its own managers call an operational state of emergency. It's due to an unusually high number of Southwest Boeing 737s being taken out of service for maintenance. In a memo obtained by CBS News, the airline called for an all-hands-on-deck, and it warned that maintenance employees could face termination for unexcused absences. The spike in out-of-service planes follows a CBS News investigation into mechanics' complaints of undue pressure to put aircraft back in service faster. Chris Van Cleve has been all over this story.
It's been a rough President's Day weekend for Southwest Airlines. Since Friday, the carrier experienced more cancellations and delays than any other U.S. airline. About 100 flights were canceled for maintenance reasons as the airline struggles to keep up with an unusually high number of aircraft taken out of service for maintenance issues. They include the planes in yellow in these pictures obtained by CBS News. In all, more than 40 planes a day out of service. That's more than double the usual average, and about 5% of Southwest's roughly 750 plane fleet. It prompted Friday's operational state of emergency memo. Such a declaration is not unprecedented, but it is rare.
I think it is an indication of problems.
John Golia is a former member of the NTSB.
This kind of stress in an operation is not good. It doesn't bode well for the safety of the airline.
A dozen Southwest mechanics tell us coworkers felt emboldened to write up problems following our CBS News investigation earlier this month into allegations of undue pressure on mechanics at Southwest. Also last week, Southwest had to check 22 engines to ensure the proper fuel pump filter seals, or O-rings, were installed. The operational state of emergency memo came just days after Senators Ed Markey and Richard Blumenthal sent a letter to the FAA seeking information about its oversight of Southwest following our investigation.
Our priorities are always first and foremost safety.
Southwest Senior Director of Safety Management, Captain Dave Hunt, talked to us last month.
I have the highest confidence in the work that our mechanics do, and also that any issue that's brought up, any issue is dealt with appropriately.
The airline is locked in tense contract negotiations with mechanics that have stretched on for years. The mechanics union is expressing concern over Southwest's state of emergency memo and its threat of termination. The memo gives the airline the ability to assign longer work hours and change staffing assignments. The union worries it will increase the level of coercion and further degrade safety, as technicians will be forced to work mandatory overtime irrespective of fatigue. In a statement, Southwest says it's working to minimize the impact to customers of the out-of-service planes. The FAA says it's closely monitoring the situation. For CBS This Morning, Chris Van Cleve, Washington.
Not very comforting for passengers when your airline tells you it's operating in a state of emergency.
How do you operate in a state of emergency?
I was wondering what that means, but kudos to Chris Van Cleve for doing the story, and that clearly they're taking action. But I was flying yesterday from Charlotte to here. It reminds you how much trust we put in the people who we don't know to do their jobs, and do their jobs well. So you don't want to hear about anybody operating under fatigue. Something to think about.